And this one's a done data. Welcome back to Street Scores. It's your boy Rico giving y'all a draft edition of Redskins Report. I'm here to present my review of the Redskins 2018 draft. I know I'm late, so I may not get many views on this from casual Street Scores viewers that pass on by, but I want to do very detailed research and watch a lot of film on the guys I hadn't seen film on yet to make sure I gave y'all a high quality video. I wanted to make my own assessments of our draft picks instead of basing everything off of what everybody else has been saying, and as a result, this video is a general, semi-detailed review of the draft picks, but I plan to release my own film session of each player in the near future, starting from our last pick to our first pick. Let's get it. Here are the draft picks in order from 1st to 7th round. There were 8 total. Round 1, defensive tackle Daron Payne out of Alabama. I'm not gonna lie, when Derwin James and Tremaine Edmonds were available at 13 and we took Daron Payne, I was sick. I immediately went to go play PUBG test server on Xbox. I couldn't even watch the rest of the draft. I was too sad. But when we were on the clock and minutes had passed and we weren't running to the podium, I knew the Redskins were making calls to see if they could trade down, which meant that they didn't see Derwin and Tremaine as must-have prospects like me. They were willing to trade down and take Daron or Geis later and just let Derwin and Tremaine slip on by. So before the pick was even announced, I already knew we weren't drafting who I wanted. But now to Daron Payne, even though we ended up getting a huge steal in Tim Settle in the 5th round that plays the exact same position as Daron Payne, so taking Derwin would have made even more sense, but Daron Payne should immediately fill our biggest need, run stopping. I don't like how he pops straight out of his stance instead of forward, but he does have a good deal of burst. He is consistently one of the first defenders to pop off the ball, which would allow him to be very disruptive once he's coached up by Jim Tomsula to pop forward instead of up, which has allowed offensive linemen to get their hands on him and slow him down. He also has strong and mechanical hand usage that should be deadly once he learns how to power forward. Sadly, up until the college championship, Payne was not very dominant. Not until he went against my Georgia Bulldogs did he look worthy of a 13th overall pick. But you never know. Maybe Jim Tomsula can get that out of him consistently. And plus, Alabama defensive linemen are told to control the blocker in front of them, not penetrate, and allow the linebackers to make plays in the backfield. He's not Jonathan Allen coming out of college, but he was very close to it in that championship game, when he was allowed to do what he wanted, and that's be destructive. So hopefully we can get the most out of him. If he can redo that championship game consistently for us, then I'll excuse the 13th overall pick for him. Round 2, running back Darius Geis out of LSU. Huge steal, plain and simple. Explosive, 3-down bruiser back that can even make plays in the passing game. He is a willing pass blocker that attacks with his blocks instead of waiting for the defender to run to him. He runs to the defender and does what he has to do in order to get the quarterback time to throw, even if it isn't a conventional textbook block. But back to his explosiveness. He is a home run waiting to happen with his speed and burst that's similar to Ronald Jones. He is a very decisive runner with great running back vision, with the burst to take advantage of his football IQ like Sony Michel. He is a bruiser with a very angry running style very similar to Marshawn Lynch, to where it looks like he wants to hurt whoever attempts to tackle him, so they're afraid of him for the rest of the game. He has a mean stiff arm too. He is the complete back. Some experts actually like him more than Saquon off the basis that Saquon didn't show in college that he can take a set of bad blocks and just simply take the little yards that are there, even if it is for no gain. Saquon a lot of the time would try to make a lot out of a little, and would very often result in a bigger loss of yards than if he originally just allowed himself to be tackled. But it has been said that Saquon was coached to do that by Penn State, so it may not be his fault. But either way, Darius Geis has proven that he can make lemonade out of lemons, even if it's just falling forward for a 2-yard gain when the play is completely broke. He is easily the most talented running back we've had since Clinton Portis. His huge fall in the draft was a result of some later dispelled rumors and the fact that he loves to play video games and stream on Twitch, which many professional sports players do, so I'm not really sure why the draft Illuminati had it out for Darius. But hey, we got him where we were not supposed to, with him clearly being the second best back in the draft, and only to a generational talent such as Saquon Barkley. And not only did we get Darius, but we got the angriest version of him that has already said that he can't wait to get on the field and make the league pay for having him drafted so far down. He already ran angry on tape. I'm afraid of our defense in the offseason to be the first to see him go Super Saiyan 3. And with Chris Thompson being as dynamic as he is, Geis won't have to carry the ball as much as a 3-down back usually has to. Geis has a 3-down back skill set and body, but Chris Thompson will allow him to take some snaps off. And great for us, Geis can actually pass block and pass catch, so we won't be one-dimensional when he's on the field like we have been with Rob Kelly and Samaje. Geis actually won MVP as a receiver in the Army Bowl he played in before he went to LSU. He wanted to play receiver in order to work on his pass game skills, and then he delivered. Our offense is going to be far more exciting this year. Truck sticks, home runs, mean stiff arms, and with this new well-rounded talent, Jay Gruden will be able to keep defenses honest and get creative. It looks like we've solved one of our main problems we've had for many years, and that's having a premier back that can carry a team on his back when necessary. A headache in the backfield that defenses don't look forward to tackling and accounting for. That's Darius Geis for you. Round 3, offensive tackle Jaron Christian out of Louisville. In a way, Christian is a free pick that I'm proud to say the Redskins finessed in the sense that they traded down from 44 to get Christian, and yet still got the guy they wanted at one point in the first round in Darius Geis anyway. And even though Christian is not a finished product yet, he has all of the tools to become a Pro Bowl tackle. And I don't specify which tackle because he is proven to be able to play on both the right side and the left side. Louisville frequently had him switch between both, almost play by play. And with the way injuries hit us last year, he would be our contingency plan to play in place of Morgan Moses or Trent Williams if the time were to come. I think this was a great pick. I know a lot of people wanted a guard at some point in the draft, especially with people like Wyatt Taylor being available. But we clearly saw last year that once Trent or Moses were out, or both, there was nobody on this team that could even hold it down for us to tackle. And the Redskins believed that Sean Laval, who we better not have paid a lot of money to come back, or Eric Quandro or Ty Nsekhe can play left guard well enough for us to be effective. Especially since the center, more than likely Chase Roulier, can help out the left guard, while Trent Williams and Brandon Sheriff hold their own with no help. And that's the worst case scenario. If Quandro and Nsekhe can actually become good guards, or Sean Laval can stay healthy and magically get better, then our offensive line will be deadly. So taking Christian as tackle and insurance seems to be the smartest option right there, especially with his abilities and potential that Bill Callahan, if there's anybody in the league who can, should be able to get out of him. Christian has very quick feet and long 35-inch arms, so he's primed to be a dominant force in pass block, especially against speedy edge rushers. He has the athleticism to force edge rushers around the pocket, giving his quarterback a clean pocket to step up into consistently. He's also good at blocking against counter punches and moves, but his biggest weakness by far is his lack of weight and strength. He's going to struggle in run blocking and against bull rush pass rushes because he can be overpowered kinda easily. He only weighs 298 pounds. Trent weighs an entire 20 pounds more than him, and Morgan Moses weighs an entire 37 pounds more than him. He's just got to get into the gym and take in Bill Callahan's teachings, and he should grow into a dominant tackle for us in the future. Round 4, safety Troy Apke out of Penn State. Though he was a reach in the 4th round, Apke does have some traits that could pan out to be very deadly for us. He ran the fastest 40 time in this year's combine with a 4.34. Had Deion Sanders surprised. He has a lot of range, but he needs to work on his decision making and instincts so that he is able to put that range into use. He is definitely a free safety, Monte Nicholson's backup, but he is a willing force in run stopping, unlike a lot of free safeties. He is a good tackler too, at times, but his IQ will sometimes get in the way of his tackling effectiveness when he takes bad angles and overestimates or underestimates a person's speed. But that's all fixable with some coaching and experience, with him not having played safety for very long at all, and he only started for 1 year, which was last year. But his immediate impact will be on special teams coverage. He's also blocked a field goal from rushing the edge with his elite speed, but his speed, hawking, and tackling will definitely come in handy on kickoffs and punts. That's where he'll be able to make the roster, and in the meantime learn how to play the free safety position better than he did at Penn State and make an impact as a backup behind Monte Nicholson. Round 5, defensive tackle Tim Settle out of Virginia Tech. Some say we got Vince Wilfork in the 5th round. I say we got to see. I do know one thing, he was still in the 5th round. He was supposed to go as early as the 2nd round. He has rare talent. With him being 6'3", 330 pounds, he should not be as agile, quick, and bursty as he is. His initial burst off the ball is crazy, but sometimes it's too crazy, to the point that he bursts off the ball and falls over with the simplest resistance when he's off balance. He ends up on the ground way too often, but this is fixable, especially with the great Jim Tomsula. Tim Settle also needs to watch his weight. That's the thing I fear the most for him. Will he be able to stay disciplined and keep his weight down so he can be very effective like he was in 2017 for Virginia Tech? If he can, he will push against Deron Payne for reps. And he's versatile, so he could also play defensive tackle in the nickel package that we run the majority of the time with 4 defensive linemen. And if the injury bug somehow lightning struck us again 2 years in a row, I would be more than happy than to see him start, especially over Terrell McClain, who has already been cut, Anthony Lanier, who is a great pass rusher but not good against the run, and Ziggy Hood, who was only effective against the run. With Tim Settle and Deron Payne, we have now added 2 players who can do both, especially once Tim Settle works on his technique, pass rush plan, and balance out of his burst. He has so many traits that can make him the Vince Wilfork many people see him to be. His burst, his high energy, his very low pad level that makes him very hard to even get hands on, his ability to dip below blocks and virtually go untouched, strength and power to punch and shed blocks, and ability to sniff out the location of the ball, then stack and attack or pursue from the back end of a play. If he's not on the ground soon after the ball is snapped, he is relentless at getting to the ball even if he has to chase it down from behind. So I do love this Tim Settle pick. If we would have taken Derwin James in the first round, this pick would look even more golden. Round 6, Sean Dion Hamilton out of Alabama. All of the talent in the world, but has suffered devastating injuries each of the past 2 seasons. To put it simply, he started alongside Reuben Foster in 2016 and Rashaan Evans in 2017, and while healthy, Hamilton was the general of the defense, the brains of the operation, the on-field defensive coordinator, the one getting Alabama's complicated defensive line every defensive snap. And he's also very good in coverage, which is probably the biggest weakness of our inside linebacker group currently. He also has a knack for fighting and filtering through blocks while maintaining eyes on the ball, like heat-seeking through crowds almost. He's very smooth, disciplined, smart, and relatively athletic. If it were not for injuries, second round would have been his floor in this year's draft. He is also fairly small for his position, but his main weakness is injuries. Even if he is able to stay healthy, he may not be himself from 2016 because of lasting effects of his serious injuries. But if he is healthy, his floor is instant kickoff coverage impact. But his ceiling is starting next to Zach Brown and being the smartest and best coverage linebacker on our team. I love this pick. It's round 6. Why not take the risk on somebody that can eventually become one of our most useful tools on our defense? And if he can't stay healthy, all we lost was a 6th round pick. Round 7. Cornerback Greg Stroman out of Virginia Tech. Small size corner but gets the job done. Yet another great pick by the Redskins late in the draft. He runs a 4.48 with good recovery speed if he's beat by a receiver, which doesn't happen often. He has great hips like Fabian Moreau, where they can both completely change directions and not lose any speed, which is rare. He stays glued to receivers, whether big and rangy or small and quick. He also likes to make plays on the ball rather than allowing receivers to catch passes and then tackling them. He shoots for pass breakups and interceptions, which he did really well. He was first in all draft eligible corners in catch rate on throws in his coverage at 22%, and he was first in passer rating allowed by quarterbacks when targeting them with 21.1. He may be small, but the stats don't lie. He can definitely cover. His small size may be taken advantage of by big receivers, but luckily for him, the league is starting to trend towards quick, route-savvy receivers, which he can handle and excel in covering. He stepped in his slot corner from our boy Kendall Fuller when he got hurt before he was drafted. So he has experience in a position that we need help at. Skandrick can be good at slot, but he has an injury problem and he's getting up there in age, so we might not even get the best version of Skandrick. So here comes Greg Stroman, who can lock up folks in the slot. He's not as athletic as Kendall Fuller, but like I said earlier, he finds a way to get the job done. I don't know how, but he does. And where he also gets the job done is in special teams returning. He has all it takes to take the returning duties from Jamison Crowder, who has been hurting us the past couple of years with his returning, especially last year. Greg Stroman has the speed and return savvy to take our return game to another level, or at least safely fair catch the ball, which is more than what we've gotten lately. But sadly for Stroman, the NFL is doing all they can to take away special teams and its effectiveness, so it might be harder for Stroman to make a living out here, but he definitely has potential to make a spot on this team and make an impact on the field. And last pick, round 7, wide receiver Trey Quinn out of SMU, the late round pick that is most likely to make the roster. Our future star slot wide receiver. He is already who we hoped Ryan Grant would someday be. Jamison Crowder better step his game up before Trey Quinn takes away his reps. Trey Quinn is a route running king with the nuance to not run full speed at snap, He holds his full speed until he is ready to break his route, which is what smart, experienced route runners do. And you definitely gain a lot of experience when you lead the nation in receptions in 2017. He had 8.8 receptions per game last year. That's crazy. I heard that Jay Gruden wanted us to draft him since like the 5th round or something, but the Redskins waited it out and it paid off greatly. We took a gamble and it worked perfectly. Alex Smith excels at throwing towards great route runners. That's a slept-on quality of Alex Smith. He is able to time his throws with his receivers in order to maximize their route running. And this is the receiver that Alex Smith will learn to love the most, especially if Jordan Reed can't stay healthy. But back to Trey Quinn. He is pretty big for a route running slot receiver. At 6 feet and 203 pounds, it's amazing that he moves like he does. His route running is as good as it gets. Elite. And he finds a way to maintain a good amount of speed throughout his route, saving his top speed for the best moment to separate from whoever's covering him. His acceleration is key to his route running. His great footwork is too. His breaks are sharp and are hard to guess and cover even for the greatest corners. He's too quick and route savvy for man coverage, and his IQ is too high for zone coverage, with his knack of finding soft spots in zone. He also has great hands, rarely drops passes. He is definitely going to grow into Alex Smith's safety blanket. And the thing I probably like the most about him is that he is willing to make catches in the middle of the field. He isn't afraid of getting hit like pretty much all of our receivers were last year. He's also shown some potential to play on the outside and up the field, but I definitely prefer him in the slot. I can already tell by how much Jay Gruden wanted this man drafted that this will be his favorite receiver replacement after Ryan Grant has left. And Jay Gruden didn't even have to wait an entire year, just a couple of months to get his replacement. And luckily for us, Trey Quinn should definitely be better. He's probably already better. But that's it for this episode. Thanks for the view. I'm going to bring y'all film sessions for each of our draft picks and further discuss how each of them should fit into our team. I got y'all back. Stay locked. Also, get in them comments and let me know what y'all think about the Redskins draft. Agree, disagree, debate. Make sure y'all Dolomite Fake punch that like button, favorite, subscribe. I'll subscribe back. And most importantly, comment and share. And again, thank y'all for the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.